I'm a realtor for about 10 years, a mother of two, and a grandmother, and a daughter, sister, and friend, and psychologist, and all of the above.
And single.
Eh, He's single.
Why?
But
When
it's
was the
better
last?
to be single. It's better to be single, okay, like in the wrong company too, because where you're not happy or holding yourself. It's a
When was the
single
last?
happy.
When was the last time you were in a serious relationship, though?
Serious relationship is like 7.5, 7 years ago.
What happened? I mean, if you don't mind saying.
It's just like better ways. Like when sometimes you get disrespected in ways that you just doesn't matter how much you try, you have to say I'm done. You know.
Do you think, like, if this was 7 years ago, right? So seven, because I remember, I mean, so we're talking about 7 years ago, and that technology has evolved quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think is different now versus back then?
It's just hard dating
Why
with
is that?
technology. Dating with technology is not. It's harder to make a real true connection. Like to have that somebody to really want to or see who your true self is, who you are for real. You know, it's like more about like photos and you know trying to see how much photo you can send or what's it gonna be like or
I
no.
to be honest, like I, I mean, I've been in a relationship for a long time to now things going on, but I'm because I'm so confused. I am so like I'm lost. I'm really confused. These dating apps right now, like I remember when I was. I mean, I'm not talking about like in high school, but I'm talking about like in my 20s. I mean,
We're not gonna disclose what it was.
no, I'm not gonna disclose that. But in my 20s, like I remember going out or maybe like, hanging out with coworkers, like or getting drinks or, going out for brunch and things like that. And then now it's like you ask people, I look at that. We have people like they were supposed to join us and then they just cancel. It's like it's
It's
like
like
this.
nobody holds on their time. It's like everybody's just in their own little bubble.
Right, and then my question is, okay, so you join these apps because, it's like when you join these apps and then you ask them, I mean, from what I hear, like, oh, so, I'm here because I'm tired of this environment, like I don't go to bars or whatever. And then, so I want
No
to find,
hobbies.
get a hobby. Like, so I'm just trying. I mean, let me tell you the story. Like, and I always tell this story to people because it's just a very rare story. Like, I do have friends that they met through an app and they're married and they had two children and they've been together, I don't know, for years now. But I think that's
Because there
one of,
are the some successful. Yeah.
but I don't think
It
it's
used to when it started back in the day too. It was more people actually went in there to be serious because like you were working professional and didn't want to be in the bars or things like that. So it was easier to connect to different people in diverse cities that way. But then as like the years progress, it seems like it has filtered like where it's like a hookup thing, and then like the group that do want something serious, but it's like how do you filter through,
and I think it's also, Jen, like I think it's also not only because we as women kind of like, oh man, they just want to hook up, whatever. But I think women in general have created that as well. Like they kind of
Hmm.
it's from both sides because look at like I was watching this this TikTok video last time and I really like what this woman said. Oh my god, I would like to give her credit for this, but I don't remember. And then she mentioned something that it really because look at women right now, right? Like there is this feminist going around. And then you see like, oh, I can do whatever men do. I can work like men do. I can do whatever, like we're equal. And then that gives the perspective to men like, well, you don't need me. So if you're gonna act
Mhm.
like, yeah, you don't want any type of chivalry here. So I think it's
And
like,
then at this
yeah, women are
And then at the
pushing.
same time, that pushes the men away too. But then also it's because I guess we have selected the wrong men, that when we date them, we don't feel protected. So we feel like we have to be strong. But then if we do date the right man, we can also be submissive to them, to the right man, because he's going to be a protector, a provider, the head of the household, and you don't have to stress about or worry about those things that make those women be so strong.
And it's like, I don't think like I want, like like she mentioned, this girl, she said like, anyway, whatever. I got trip. Okay. Anyway, we need to like this toxic way of having men, you know, because it's fine. Like, as women, we need that man to protect us, to feel safe, to feel like they take care of us. But then we don't want that toxicity neither, that
Hmm.
you control me. So there should be some type, in the middle. Like when I'm with a man, I want that man to protect me. I want to feel safe. I want to know that I'm going to be, I close my eyes and I know that I'm okay, because he's gonna make the right decisions and I'm gonna end up in the right place with him. And
Yeah,
and that's what's called a man. But then, not to the point, like I don't want to give that message to men like, oh, I want, no, there should be something, in the middle. I don't
they
want you to
should know.
Yeah, I don't want you to
You don't
control me,
want to
but I
be a
want
mother, like a
I don't,
mother, like telling them, like, you should do this and, you know, act this way or do that. No, it should already be wired into him.
and I think that's probably what is affecting with all these dating apps, the lack of social skills, or
The initiative
socializing.
where the men come, like before, where men would come and approach you like, you look beautiful, and your hair looks great, or the shoes, or the lipstick, just because they wanted to start the conversation, or you smell good, can I have your number? There's no, like, each day is less and less of that, unless you
No,
go to another country. You go to other countries and you see some of that still left.
no, nowadays they tell you like, what do you want to meet?
Yeah, come to
What
my apartment. Let's watch a movie. We should cuddle. Why don't you just come cuddle in my couch and let's watch a movie? And you're like,
yeah,
at least take me to coffee. Like,
maybe I mean,
can we do coffee at least? Like, are we worth like the $6, $7 of coffee? Like, cuddle straight up,
that
really? Like, how
that's
do
not
you
a
know you miss
date.
me? I missed you. Let's cuddle. It's so cold. I missed
Oh,
you.
look
How
at
do you know you
Kia.
miss me? I've never been
Ali,
in your life before.
Ali Kia. Hey,
Hey,
Ali.
Hi, everyone.
Ali, introduce yourself. I mean,
welcome.
Jan already did, so
Oh,
uh,
okay. I'm so late, but
you're late. You're late.
story of my life, mom life.
Don't let it happen.
Yeah, I'm Allie. I'm from California. I don't know. What are we sharing?
Well, Jan just mentioned that she's a real estate agent. I mean, that's how I met her. And
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, so I'm from California and I'm a new mom. Um, I'm married and
I
I'm a
know.
teacher.
She just had it. She is married. She is married. So we need that perspective. So Jan was
Mm,
saying right now, we were talking about that nowadays, like we're talking about these apps, like for example, like she said that 7 years ago, that's when you had your serious relationship, right? And
uh,
then that we were talking about that, back then things were different and we didn't have the technology that we have now. And now when people are single and they're going dating, so they only use these apps, and there is no chivalry, there is no, like, they don't even take you out for coffee. That's just like,
it's straight out. Come to my apartment. Let's go to the couch.
well, she's been dating, because that's what I'm getting the stories from her. So last time you were telling me a story. Can you share?
Who,
What
Jen?
story was it?
No,
For
you were
who,
telling me,
Ali?
well, that you were using all these apps and then you have some kind of crazy horror. like
There's many
terrible.
horror stories. There's horror story. There's like this one guy, like he's like, oh yeah, I own my houses and properties, and I'm a builder, and this and that, and then it's like I'm a realtor, so I can see like if you have shit or not, so you cannot be lying. So it's like, yeah, I have this and that. I pulled the name in his county where he lives and surrounding counties. It's like nothing pulls at all. So I dug into, going a couple more dates and dug into more conversation about like this builder job or whatever. It's like turns out is he's just helping an assistant to somebody, like somebody else, and he wasn't. And then the worst of them was this guy is like seeking me and seeking me. He wants me to go out with him. He wants me to go out with him. So I go out with him. He's like a gentleman, opens the door, holds my hand, like, the chivalry. I'm like, oh, maybe there's potential here. And then it's like after the day, he starts like pressuring me that so I can come to his house to visit him, to this and that and whatever. And I'm like, no, like I'm not gonna do this or whatever. So then it's like comes, I see a weekend like it pops up where he's like with some girl out of town, but I'm thinking maybe it's a sibling because she looks older and different. Like, I'm like not thinking anything about it. So then Monday, Tuesday comes, change your status on Facebook to engage. And I'm like, wait, what?
Oh my
I was
god.
like, I was like, you just wanted me like to go. And then that's not all. That's not where it ends. After being engaged, and he starts texting and calling me, approaching me about that we can be something and have a relationship, still be together.
That's
But,
crazy.
like we have to have sex in front of his fiance because she wants to see us have sex together. And this, I say, well, she may. I don't roll with that. That's not my cup of
That
tea.
is
So
crazy.
But it's not
it's just
only
like
her.
weird,
It's not
extreme
only
approach.
No, it's not only you. Like I went out for dinner with a girl I met, and she was telling me this story that she went out on this. She met this girl on this app, and then when she meets her, like, okay, so she told me, like, first they were talking, they were chatting for like 3 weeks, and then later, after those 3 weeks, she's like, okay, let's meet. And then they was like, okay, let's just go and meet. And then the girl says, well, but I don't have a car right now. And she was like, okay, well, okay, I'll pick you up. So she went to pick her up. And then right when she got in the car, she tells her that she's a psychic or whatever. I don't know. She told me that she used another name for it.
Oh my gosh, what other name?
No, I don't know. Maybe she said it was like something a little more professional, but it was a psychic. So then they went to watch this Netflix, like movie, to her house, and then she started. She was, trying to get the movie on, and all of a sudden she told me that she approached her, and then she said, your grandmother is thinking about you. And she
Oh my
Random.
gosh. I think you put a witchcraft in my house, girl. It's time to go bye bye. It's like that.
That's
and then
crazy.
I know. And then she said that that's after that, of course she freaked out. She was like, I mean, what is going on right here? And then the girl mentioned, like, and your grandmother name, the grandmother name is like, I don't know, whatever. It was very similar to her grandmother's name, actual grandmother's name. And then that's when she started like, oh, maybe it's like when she told me that, listen, if I'm in that situation, would be like, I get an Uber for you out of my house.
Yeah. It's time
Wow.
to go bye bye.
But this is
Abort.
but this is what's going on right now. It's not only them. Like, I get stories from a lot of people. It's not the same. So
Oh,
I don't.
no, wait.
Go ahead.
There is like you reminded me like the very first date I went when after my breakup. This guy, he looked all cute and all perfect on the dating app and everything. And then it's like we go out to date. When I see him in the photos, you couldn't tell, but when I met him, then he has like a lot of tattoos through the arms and like, but it looked like the bad tattoos. So as we were talking, he kept jerking and looking back and jerking and looking back. And I was like, are you okay? Are you nervous? Like, I've come, thinking in my mind, like, I've already been through this. Like, I don't need this again. And he's like, no, I was shot before, like years before, so I have PTSD, and so it's like when I hear sounds, it's like
Yeah,
I think
no.
just making sure and being aware. And I was like, okay, it's time
Wow.
to say
Like,
bye.
lay that on you, your first date.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I'm
It
serious.
reminded me of that. I was like, oh my gosh, that was my very
So
first dating experience.
so Ali is married, so you're happily married, which that's great.
I sure am. I'm sorry.
Keep it
Sorry,
that
not
way.
sorry.
But I mean, I don't think like versus like for example, when you started dating, when did you start dating with your husband? Like how long ago was that?
Honestly, we were dating only for 3 weeks and got engaged, so but that was 3 years ago.
So this was 3 years ago.
Yeah, and we were
And
engaged for a whole year. So, okay, I'll back up. We've been best friends or really good friends for almost 10 years. We lost touch. 3 years ago, he reappeared in my life. 3 weeks after he reappeared, we got engaged. And then a year after that, we moved in. So, yeah, it's been 2 years.
so he was your friend first
Mhm.
before anything else.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I say. Like I'm thinking about the dating apps. I don't know what you think. So I mean, tell me if I'm wrong right here. But when you usually what you're saying, all these terrible stories, right? That they go on these apps and then they start filtering and then like, oh, I like you, whatever. Let's just meet. Let's just go to your house. Let's watch a movie. And there is no actual date. And right away they're expecting that they're gonna start a relationship. Does it make sense what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I
Yeah,
think
I would
Mhm.
agree. So, like, I did do the
It's
dating
weird.
apps for, I wanna say, a total of 2 months before my husband. I tried it out, not because I was bored and not because I was looking for something, I was just ready to date. So, I think your mentality also plays into effect, but, so those 2 months I tried it out, I experienced love bombing, and people, so for those of you who don't know, love bombing is just like where you feel intensely passionate right away, and there hasn't been enough time for real feelings to develop. You're just like super infatuated. You think it's love, so they love bomb you and they tell you they love you. I experienced that
Yeah.
absolutely too, and just it was just yeah, you're right. So
yeah, I think so because that's what I hear from all these people, like from Jen, and I heard from other people as well, like all these terrible things. But what are you expecting? That you're gonna meet someone on an app, and right away when you go on a first date, something is gonna like, oh, we're gonna fall in love, like,
No.
or we're gonna start like, hey, let's just start dating, like this.
I
And
mean, it happens. It does. There's successful stories.
I mean, that's what I mentioned that I know I have really good friends that they actually marry and they're married, they had 2 children, and they met through an app. But like, I don't think you should expect that. Like, don't go
Be
with that
more of like
mentality.
friendship developing.
Is more about getting to know each other. And of course, if something happens along the way, that's great. And if your kids, whatever, and things start happening, great. But I think is the fact that you should start getting to know each other. Like,
Mhm.
what do you do? Like, and then and the ghosting part,
Taking
right?
the
Like,
time.
and the ghosting part, like I heard so many.
Yeah, it's like you can love bomb super quick, but just as quick as that infatuation comes, it also goes quickly, and then ghosting happens because they
And
don't really care.
they're I think, oh man, I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
That's
so it's like
true.
your feelings aren't real. They're not valuing too much. They're just like valuing the infatuation. So once they don't feel infatuated, they don't value you enough to have consideration and courtesy to tell you upfront or the truth or whatever. So they're just like, peace, ghost.
Ali, I
Mm,
didn't think about that. That's true.
I
Because it
mean,
go
that's how I see it.
I mean, yeah, yeah, it makes sense
it's
because
easier.
why they will go somebody? I mean, and I see all these TikToks video people like telling stories. Oh my God, it's hilarious. Like
Yeah, don't even get me started. I hear all these crazy dating stuff, especially on Instagram. I'm not on TikTok, but
horror movies.
yeah, horror stories.
I mean, it's just like now I get it. And it's like nowadays people don't have the actual like can you be honest and can you say, "Hey, this is not working out."
I mean,
Like
some people can, some people can't. I would say I was very honest.
Like, hey, I don't like the way you're behaving, or maybe I'm too blunt, or I don't like you, or I don't think we're clicking. I mean, there's no
I
connection,
have
but we
done the two.
can still be friends. Oh, but what happens when you tell them we can still be friends? They just block you or talk to you anymore.
Well, it's because, like,
Yep.
I think everyone is so different. Like, this whole, like, dating app situation, I don't have much experience, like, enough, but I have, like, those 2 months to have a lot to say, and I've learned a lot, and I really learned, like, everyone is so different. Some people are super ready, they know what they're looking for, and it's not bad. It comes off bad to the person who's not ready, doesn't know what they want, and they're just, like, freaked out and turned off, and so then some people are able to be
Or
considered.
the wondering too if it's a real thing or just like saying the right thing too.
What do you mean?
Because there's like on the people that I've had people come super strong to me that
Uh-huh.
then I analyze and I feel what you're saying that is because they're ready, but they came to me in a way that it felt more like made me wonder if it was like being honest or they were just trying to get me to believe that so I can be more open, you know. But
Oh,
then
like
I
wooing
realized
you?
that
They're just trying to woo you?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that
that
sometimes
could be
because it's
true.
like because it's kind of like the needle in the haystack that you're searching through. So then it's like it goes through so many that are negativity that then when you come into positivity, it takes you a little bit longer to realize it and not then be like negatively judgmental
I would
because
call that
of
manipulation, like, some people would manipulate their way in, that's, like, wooing,
mhm,
and I feel like also personally, I mean, I don't know you, Jen, that well, but I would say, like, it also has to do with, like, the kind of person I am as a person, like, I'm going to attract those kind of people too, um
yeah.
So there was a period in my time where I was attracting nothing but negative, dumb, manipulative, gaslighting boys, and I had to do a lot of inner like soul searching. So I don't know, there's like so many different factors and like things that we can lay out on the topic of dating, and you can branch out, and it's like a lot of thoughts. But for me personally, I've always thought it always starts with you, with one. You it depend like, the trajectory of your dating starts with you, like, your mental state, your healing state, your
Mhm.
self-healing and all the okay, back up. One thing I've always said is people will meet you as far as you've met yourself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, like,
Yeah.
people will
You have
meet
to be
you.
happy with yourself too.
Well, yeah, so, like, people will be able to meet your needs as much as you've met your needs in the sense of, like, you're not gonna be I don't know if that makes sense. Do you guys know what I'm trying to say?
No, I think
Yeah.
I think what you're saying is like you need to be fulfilled. Like you need. So I was watching this
Ye-
video last night. Like you don't need someone else to be happy. You don't
yes.
you like to be happy. You can be happy with yourself. Now,
Mhm.
of course, as human beings, we need to have someone, a companion, right? Is part of who we are. But it's like you need to be happy with yourself. You need to be okay with yourself and enjoy things alone. Being
Mhm.
happy and enjoying things alone. Because I think that's what happened when people get into a relationship because they don't want to be alone, or they're just looking like purposely. And they're like, oh, I want this partner. And then when they get into a relationship, it's like they get this perspective like the I cannot be without you. Like, hey, you are a person that you like your stuff. Like, hey, the guy likes to watch sports and you don't like that. And then you're not going to be there with him. I'm pretty sure, like,
Mhm.
you don't spend 24/7 with I'm sure your husband has a time, that he likes to watch something. I don't know, but do things or whatever he likes to do. But you're not going to be there like 24/7 around, like, because you're an individual. So
Yeah,
maybe, yeah, I think that's what you mean, right? Like you,
kind of. I feel like
No, and
yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, that you were referring more to if you're not healed and you're wounded, and or you're gonna be attracting more people that way. If you're negative or have bad intention, then you're gonna cross people that way. If you feel content with yourself and happy, then you're gonna bring people into your life in that way. So
Yeah.
because we're a mirror reflection on
Yeah.
that's what I understood. But
Yeah, mirror reflection is a very good
uh
term to put to it. I could also switch it to you will meet others as far as you've met yourself. And I think that's an easier way of understanding it too. So, like, as far as you met yourself, if you focus on that part, how much have you healed? How much have you learned? How much have you shifted your perspective in life and love and relationships and everything? Like, as much as you've grown from that, you will be able to meet others, and those others might have grown and seem different and have a different perspective. Why? Because you've grown and you've learned to like look for things that are different, and you don't even think about it. But I don't know.
huh.
This is like something
No,
that
I,
I'm
I, I
dealing
get
with.
it.
Yeah, this is what I'm dealing with, even
Yeah.
with friendships. So I can see it translated with love more so.
Uh-huh.
So you think that's what
Yeah.
happened with these guys that probably Jane had met online?
I mean, I wouldn't really, I don't know. I mean, I
I
don't know
feel
what
more
to
that
do.
if I feel
I
more that I am very trustworthy, and that they came in the pre like they good up front first, like with what I'm trying to connect, they like saying the right thing, and then like really surely as soon as they could, like then they show like the true colors of what he was, and then I can recognize that what I don't want to attract in my life, and I'm like, no, that's not going to happen here. We're not doing this.
Yeah.
But they can be deceitful in the beginning, where like I was just too naive to believe it
Oh,
because
wait a
I'm
minute.
like,
Wait a minute. Wait a
for
minute.
me
We have a
everybody is unicorn and happy.
Dan, sorry, we have a comment. So it says that someone says that you can meet someone else's needs if you don't know how to meet your own. You cannot meet
Yeah,
someone else's. I think that's what
you
You're
know
saying
Austin.
you
what?
cannot or you can?
No, you cannot. You cannot meet someone else's needs if you don't know how to meet your own.
I mean,
We're
that
like
could make
puzzle.
sense. I kinda like that because, I mean, you can say a whole lot with that comment, but I think it goes back to, like, knowing yourself, being well aware, self-aware, and of course, you're not God, you're not, like, you're not whatever higher whatever thing you look up to, but, like, you can help someone as far as you help yourself. I don't know, I can just always go back to that.
But I think I know what he means. I mean, I think that the point is, I think it boils down to you don't expect that you're gonna find happiness in the first place just because you're gonna find someone. You need to be happy with yourself. And once you're happy with yourself and you're okay and you're healthy, emotionally, then you can provide that to someone. I think that's and I think majority of the times, probably, I mean, this is just me speculating, but based on the stories that I have here, when online dating, like the stories like Jan mentioned, that these people go on dating apps, and then that's like, hey, let's just meet, let's just go out, and then there is no real connection. It's just like what you mentioned before, like that, oh, I like you, whatever, but it's not real. And then they
Mhm.
really want to meet someone, and at the end of the day it's not going to last, and that's when you said, like, they cannot confront the person and they just ghost
Yeah,
whoever.
because there wasn't enough sustenance to, like, for them to hold value in that relationship. Have the courtesy to tell you up front, like, "Hey, this wasn't working out," or, "Hey, you're a weirdo," or, "Hey, you're love bomb." Like, that was me. I was blunt. I was just like, "Hey, I'm telling you this just as feedback,
Oh my
I
god,
think."
so we
I've
can.
been told I'm mean.
Yeah, like, I value you as a person. I may not have love for you, we don't have anything to build on, but, like, I think you told me you love me a little too soon. Like, you don't know me, you've never seen me mad, you've never seen how I problem solve, you've never seen me
Yeah,
missing, Like, how
Okay,
can
you
you
say you love
yeah.
me.
That's what I say the same thing. Oh my god. I've been told I'm mean. I don't think I'm mean. We're not mean for being honest. It's better to be honest than playing high school or
So
Yeah.
they
The
so
quiet game.
so in general, do you think dating apps is not a
Although I'm guilty,
problem?
I've done the quiet game. Huh?
In general, do you think dating apps is not the actual problem? It's
I
more how people
not,
socialize?
I feel it's more like a mix of like the what we how we come off, if we're coming honest or being deceitful. And the on the app, I feel it's like harder to know like the ones that are being honest than the ones that are being deceitful. I thought it'd be easier. Maybe I just like get the wrong people. I'm old fashioned. I would ideally would like to go on a date better with somebody that introduces me to somebody, or
Yeah.
somebody from my past. Maybe I work with them or went to school with
Like a
them,
more
or
organic way.
more organic way. I would love to meet somebody that way. But the app is there to kind of fill in the void, I guess, but
I
it's
feel like
not.
it's used that
If
way.
it's and if
And
it's successful, maybe you have to be consistently, and I'm not consistent. I can like be on it like one weekend or one week, and then I forget about it for like 6 months, and then like I can go back. So maybe I'm not so consistent to find the right material. Yeah, somebody tell me.
Like how often do you like you get on the app? Like are you like active constantly, or do you just turn it off or you go
No,
back to?
I mean it's on, like it's on there, but I'm not checking it. Like I'm not actively going. Like I
Mm.
may start messaging with somebody, and I'll get busy with work and life and the kids, and I go on vacation, and next thing I know, I'd be like, oh, let me see, like it's almost Christmas or it's almost Valentine's.
it's like
Nobody,
one of
I
those
haven't met
dead ones,
anybody,
those dead
and then
apps
I'd be,
on
oh, I
Facebook.
remember I was talking with this person. It was nice. And
Sorry, Ali, what do you say?
I said it's like one of those dead apps you forget you had, like those games that you download because you like, in the moment it sounded like a good idea, but then you forget. That's me.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, I remember
yeah.
I
So
had that
that's
app
the best
there.
description.
Coffee Meets Bagel was that app for me, like
Oh
back then.
yeah, I hear of it. So what's the difference? So okay, so let's just talk about the ones because the ones I have here is Cupid. Okay, okay, Cupid is something. Okay, yeah, okay, Cupid.
Okay,
Um,
Cupid is like an OG old.
it's like a Tinder thing, right? I heard.
I don't know about Tinder. I've never been on Tinder, but I've had a
Besides,
perspective of
How
like,
do so many people end up marrying on Tinder and marrying? I thought Tinder was just to
yeah,
hook up.
no, but back in the day, but when Tinder started, I think so. I think it was different now. I don't think. I mean, for not that I'm in there, but it's just what is on social media, and I think that um, and I don't know if you heard what actually kind of ruined the reputation of Tinder. Have you heard of this Netflix show? I mean, I'm not sure if I can mention that.
oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah, but I'm not gonna say the name just for. But I think we know the person. This guy
during
started like,
COVID.
yeah,
Okay.
and it started like getting like showing himself as a rich person that came from like wealthy
Oh,
family.
oh no, I haven't seen that one.
You have it. Well, if you go, oh, I don't know if I can mention Netflix here, but anyway, whatever. So,
Text that
um,
later.
we can edit that. But the thing is, like, if you like, the guy was actually portraying himself as a rich person, right? And then he was meeting this woman, like different women at the same time, and then he would just take them on this private jet and all that, like with bodyguards and everything. And at the end, like later on, when he kind of got gained that trust from women, and they were like in a relationship. Then he would say like, oh, like my family is being kidnapped, and then I had to go. And then he would kind of like use the social engineer, skills to tell them, hey, I need you to transfer this amount of money because I don't
Oh
have
my
cash
gosh.
right now. And then women will actually give him the money and the guy will ghost them. And
Huh.
Wow.
so this women created this documentary, like I think there were like 5 or something like that in the documentary. Probably he did it to many more, but
Wow.
because they actually didn't get anything out of it. Like so basically, which I get it. They actually they gave him the money, so it's not like he stole it. Of course, it was part of uh, not it was a lie,
Yeah.
but that's what the banks were now advocating, under favor because it was like you gave him the money, so he didn't steal from you.
Wow.
So
Mm.
they lost. They didn't get any penny. And the funny part is like one of them was given was actually getting loans to give it to the guy.
Oh my
she
God.
she
Wow. People
got
have
into
no awareness
yeah,
of
yeah. So I think that I
discernment.
read an article that actually this what happened in this documentary on Netflix is what I kind of put this reputation a little bit um you know in a bad status with Tinder. I mean, yeah, I guess. But
It happens so frequently too. It surprises me.
I don't know about that coffee no, bagels or coffee, whatever.
Coffee Meets Bagel,
Coffee
that's
is
Like,
like
bagel.
a really old app. I don't even know if people use it nowadays. I used to when I was a lot younger. I went on 3 successful dates. Successful meaning they were nice and decent. It didn't go, past maybe 3 dates was tops, but, I think that was a good one. I personally stay away from the big hotshot apps like Cupid. Cupid for me, I look at it like the OG, like where people go to get all sexual, like Cool
Um,
Cats, the old Cool Cats, the
oh
old
gosh, I'm glad I never seen that. No,
I
what
don't know.
what do you use? What is it you're using then? Are you using that or
I
something
just
different?
I had to Bumble because I had about
Yeah, Bumble.
3 friends that met like their guys and they were professional, kind of like we are and independent. And it seemed like every day they would go, it goes like that. And I've met the professional. It's just like they're into more of a freaky stuff that I'm not.
Yeah, I think Bumble has a bunch of freaky bored people. I also think Hinge is a good one. I did Hinge 3 years ago during COVID. Um I heard and I have found that Hinge has more people who are, like, serious that don't wanna just
Mm,
F around, they actually are looking for something more serious. Again, there are still those weirdos that will still love bomb you, and maybe their, like, love experience is a little immature, so they just get super infatuated like this one guy did to me. But yeah, Hinge is another good one.
Well, in the end, at the end of the day, I think maybe that what will be the take.
Organically is better. So people, friends, family, for your everybody. It's like always remember your single friends and families and introduce them.
I think Jennifer's traumatized.
and and then don't be shy. Come and say hi and give a woman a compliment. Be
What would
Yeah.
more
be
assertive.
so I would go with a takeaway of this. So for me, I mean, I'll start. Like, I think it's not only the apps. I mean, the apps, of course, is part of it, but I think it's more the fact that people are not socializing anymore, and they're
Mhm,
losing this communication. They're not communicating the way that they should. And to
mhm,
be honest, it's not that I don't want to sound like I'm offending people, but if you don't know what you want, and if you're not ready for a relationship, you need to be honest. And if you're getting on those apps, you can, because I'm pretty sure you can build your profile, right? And then
mhm,
this is what I'm looking for. I just want to hang out. If you're willing to, like, go ahead. I mean, if you accept that, then cool. If not, then just I'm letting you know. Or I'm just like, I just want to be friends, and if things happen. If they don't happen, and if things don't click, then you should let the person know. So I think it's more
Yeah.
the communication part of it. I think so. But I think ghosting is very, in my opinion, is that's
rude.
not it's rude. It is
It's
rude.
rude and immature.
It's
Mm.
rude and immature, right? Because I mean, I would ghost if I were in my 20s, maybe if I were in high school or something like that. But right now, like, I'm a grown
We're
up
already
woman.
adults. Yeah.
I,
I mean,
I
I will go back to the whole sustenance of how much they value. Like, it's rude if you have built something, at least if you felt like you were building something and you had consecutive days of constantly talking. I want to say maybe like a week to 2 more. Like, that's enough time to make someone think, like, oh, maybe not that you're going to marry them, but like, oh,
right.
maybe we'll meet up and maybe this is going to go somewhere. Like, if there's like, there's like that unspoken, like, um, I don't know what you call it, but just like, like you both kind of feel,
Vibe,
and then you just like drop them,
connection.
that's rude.
Mm, I think so. So in your from you, Ali, like, cause you're married, like, what made you think that he was the person? Like, what made you feel that he was the guy?
Oh, because he was everything I had never dated before, and it was better. He was everything I was unfamiliar to. There's a
Did you
song
write a
actually.
list about what you wanted?
Huh?
Did you write the list, what you wanted, and then work on yourself for
Oh,
that man? Like
yeah.
I read in the list and then I work
Oh, that's a
myself
good
like,
question.
to
Yeah.
do that.
I
Yeah.
definitely had work like, I put in the work to heal myself from, like, past trauma, including non-relationship trauma. So, like, I put in
Mm,
the work, and I just feel like this is just me where I'm coming from. Like, I'm very spiritual, and I feel like once you do that, it'll be the right time. Sometimes it's not the right time when you meet that person and you're still finding people, and then you might think it's gonna work out and it doesn't work out. It's because you're not putting in the work maybe, I don't know, but
Mm,
I can say he was also doing that. He was also putting in the
yeah.
work to heal himself. We were doing it separately, unknowing that we would come and meet again, you know? And then when we came together, we shared
It's
what we were
beautiful.
looking for, and it was like, "Oh my gosh, that's everything I was looking for." And then same to me, I was looking for that too. So that's why I always go back to, like, you will always meet people as far as you've met yourself, and it all
Yeah.
works out. Um,
oh, that makes
yeah.
sense. Actually, that makes sense. So I think it's just, yeah, you should know, and you should see red flags. I think someone that is not being straightforward with you, then you should walk away.
Yeah, but then there's those poor people who don't see red flags and they're just so naive.
That's yeah.
Like, I have a friend who, like, never see she sees the good in everyone, and then she'll tell me her stories, and I'm just, like, looking at her like, "Dude, that is a red flag. What are you doing?" And she's just like, "Really? But you think so?"
I have a friend that falls in love from the first conversation. I'm like, you're not in love. Let's stop it.
So
Yeah.
what would be a red flag? Okay, so let's talk about that. So just to take, for so first one is like,
Love bombing is a huge red flag.
yeah, yeah, that's true. I agree. Love bombing.
Love bombing.
For me,
Um,
it's only like thinking only like late times or like you're the weekend person or the late night person and then no time. But
yeah,
then
like, if
again, it
you
could
see
be busy
trends
for
and when
work
they
because
come
I'm
to you.
busy and it could be double because like, I can also be late because of my work. So,
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, say that again. What was another red flag?
you know, sometimes like that type of men that may be in a relationship or family or they're just like looking for fun, so they're trying to fill in like the weekend or the evening, you know,
Mhm.
Uh,
so they're
okay.
not lonely. So
The
then
type.
you
Oh,
get
yeah.
that.
The type of date, like right away,
Mhm.
the way they ask you the first time how to meet, like where
Yeah.
I think that counts a lot,
Very
especially,
late.
yeah,
It's
very
gonna be
late.
hard.
Sort of, or like, where do you want to meet? Like, I meet you there or whatever. No, like, I think it's not like that. I mean, my opinion is like, hey, have a date ready if you want to
Yeah.
have it.
Well, I
Have
mean,
it.
like, everyone has different expectations and
Yeah,
preferences, but I feel
yeah.
like that should be, like, a common like, it's not that hard to ask a girl on a
What
date or
what
someone
do
on
you
a date.
like? Yeah, what do you like, or where would you like to go, or things like that. So I think, yeah. So those, yeah, people should start looking at those red flags, and then you can end up, finding the right guy, like Ali did, and have a baby and be in a nice family, and we'll get there. You'll
In
be
the
there.
meantime, I'm not desperate. I'm enjoying singleness. I'm now discover the beauty of travel internationally through Europe and stuff, and now I want to
Ooh,
like conquer South America. So if it comes that it
putting her
happens, it'd
plug
be
in.
awesome. Yeah, but it's not like I'm like desperately looking like I need to. You know,
Yeah.
I'm just letting it like it will happen organically. Maybe one of the trips or an event or something like that.
Or
If
maybe
you,
you'll just re-meet an old best friend from 8 years ago, and you actually dated
Yeah,
his brother, and you randomly end up marrying the older brother. That's what happened to me.
that would be weird. That happened to you? What?
that's
Yeah,
the,
that's
yeah.
another story for another day, though.
Oh, that's so funny.
I think what is meant to be is meant to be, and then, be happy with yourself. I think, in my opinion, in the end, so you can move on to be with someone. Like, be healthy emotionally so you can give that and then you can portray that
Yes,
and you can get that back.
yes.
Um, I guess that's what I learned.
I mean, there's a lot to be learned and a lot to be said, and I wish I personally had more time to, like, hang
Yeah.
out, so I will outro myself here. It was so nice coming on, and this is so much fun. I look forward to
Thanks,
hearing more
Ali.
of your
Thank
podcasts
you, Ali,
and
for coming.
Alright, bye.
Bye. All right, Jan. And maybe you can just promote yourself right here. Maybe someone reached you out where they can find you because you have your real estate business.
Yes, yes, definitely. So, all of you, if you know somebody that wants to buy or sell a house, remember to contact your favorite realtor, Jen Perez Realtor, at kw.com.
Wait. Let's put it right there so they know is
Actually, Jen Perez Realtor.kw.com. No,
mm,
not at
so it will be Jan Perez, right? Like it's your name right
Realtor.
there. Hmm.
Hmm?
Okay. And they can find you on Instagram and everything, right? Maybe you
The
get a
same,
message from a guy.
yeah, the same Jen Perez Realtor. And my phone number 615-663-9264.
You're ready to go.
Yeah. My hashtag is to remember your favorite realtor. So,
All right, then I'm gonna cut
Chica.
right here. I'll talk to you later. Bye.